Boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, let's talk about Staff, one of the weapons which you'll be able to use in Throne and Liberty. As you can see here in front of you, I can prepare a full list of active and passive skills. So let's check what do we know so far about this weapon. Before we start, let me just say subscribe to my YouTube channel to see more of Throne and Liberty videos in the future. As you can see, I'm already here on official website, actually official YouTube channel of Throne and Liberty. And here in front of me, I have that video which many content creators have already shown. We are going just check for a few minutes this video to show you how is looking Staff in action. So many people have already made the translation for this video, and just watching this footage, I will do more. We are going to check every single skill that you can see what Staff can do. But let's check now for start how is Staff looking in action. And as you can see here, it's actually looking pretty good. Let's see what we have here. Different kind of skills, fire and electricity kind of skills, you will notice here. Magical kind of weapon, ranged, absolutely. There are some melee skills which you will be able to use when enemy approaches closer to you. Nevertheless, you can see here, obviously, a ranged kind of weapon. Beautiful skill animation. You can cast while you move, what is very important, absolutely very important. We have seen after that closed beta test in Korea, players were not happy, absolutely, because you couldn't move while you attack. But now you will notice, not for all of the attacks, but for most of the attacks, you can actually move while you attack. For some attacks, okay, you can see here movement again. For some attacks, yes, of course, when you are casting, you'll be sorcerer kind of class, mage. I mean, there are no classes in Throne and Liberty, there are only roles, but if you take this weapon, you'll take that role. Obviously, for casting kind of classes, while you're casting, you'll not be able to move. That's kind of normal in any other MMORPG also. You can see here a little bit presentation. And there are some skills which are regenerating mana. I'll talk about that a little bit later. But in general, it's looking like one really good weapon if you enjoy playing magical kind of classes from range, dealing really high damage. Some of the skills are AoE, some of them are single target. You will see that in a minute, but in generally very high damage skills. Also, there is a special combination. I mean, in Throne and Liberty, you can use combination of two different weapons. You will see a little bit later. Developers of the game have actually give us option. What would be the best option to combine with Staff? I will talk about that later in second half of the video. Now, let's focus on the skills of the Staff. Let's go here. I already prepared. Let's start with active skills. First skill here, Mystic Shield, cooldown 1 second, defense against an attack, consumes additional stamina based on the damage defended, upon defending against a fury attack within 0.5 seconds, deals 110% of base damage, plus 12 to the attacker, and 10% of plus 0 to burning enemies. If the target is wet, create a dot area with the 3 meters radius of the target, dealing 10% of the base damage, plus 0 per second. I will explain this wet state, this is very important in a second. All enemies in the area. Stacks following mana up to 3 times to increase mana regeneration for 18 for 6 seconds each time you defend against a fury attack. Now regarding this dot, if the target is wet, I already talked about this thing in some other dedicated videos on my YouTube channel. So weather will have influence on your skills. Not for all of the weapons, absolutely, but if the weapon is, for example, like in this case, having some kind of electricity, yes, if the weather will be raining, something like that, wet weather around you, or condition is wet, you can see here, that effect, skill will have better effect. Some AoE effect, maybe even bigger damage. You will see here in a few different occasions, when we're going to check different kind of skills, this wet state is very important. And this is not only for this class here. In generally, then you will have some kind of electricity skill. It will be more powerful in wet state. So if that day is raining. I already talk about that on my YouTube channel a lot regarding influence of weather, not only on skills, but also on your environment. Check some guides on my YouTube channel regarding that topic. Now, let's go further with next skill here, Chain Lightning, okay, cooldown 9 seconds. A lightning skill that deals damage equal to 360% of the base damage plus 26, deals bonus damage equal to 10% per stack of your burning. When the target is wet, again, that thing, right? Damage transfers to other enemies within 5-meter radius of the target up to 3 times. Damage decreases by 20% every time it transfers and will not transfer a target that has been already transferred. So this is interesting. Again, we have AoE effect within 5-meter radius when it's raining outside. Really nice, right? So you will want to fight with this class when it's raining, obviously. Let's go further with this skill here, 12 seconds cooldown, serial flame bombs, okay? A fire skill that deals damage equal to 110% of the base damage plus 22 and inflicts a burning with 8% chance. Burning lasts for 12 seconds and deals damage equal to 1.5% of the base damage plus 1 every second per stack. Can be stacked up to 10 times, it can be used up to 3 times in a row. This is interesting, so not a long cooldown, actually 12 seconds, pretty decent damage, and it can be used up to 3 times in a row. I already see that the players will use this skill a lot. Smoke screen, smoke screening frost, okay, cooldown 27 seconds. Create a zone that deals damage over time for 3 seconds and teleport back 10 meters. This is interesting. This is interesting. So damage over time, okay, dot over time for 3 seconds and teleport back 10 meters. That's really interesting. To all the enemies within the zone, deal damage to equal 20% of the base damage plus 10 every second, and there's a 100% chance to slow enemies' movement speed by 21% for 3 seconds. This is interesting skill. Very interesting skill, probably very useful in PvP, because you can see here, it's not only teleporting you back 10 meters, it's not only dot, but also it's slowing enemy speed of the enemy 21% for 3 seconds. Really good. Infernal Wave. Oh, this should be something really powerful, right? Cooldown 18 seconds, okay? A fire skill that deals damage equal to 270% of the base damage plus 52 within 3 meters from the target. When using it on the target you have inflicted burning on, each stack will deal bonus damage equal to 5% of base damage to all the enemies within 3 meters with an 80% chance of burning. So what I like about this weapon already now, obviously in some other MMORPGs when we would have classes, this would be some kind of mage or sorcerer class, there is lots of AoE effects or basically on the target around your main target, which is nice. So most of these skills are actually not single target skills. Inner Peace, cooldown 90 seconds. Oh, this is a long cooldown. Let's check what is this about. For 6 seconds, increase mana regeneration by 600%. If in a wet state, the amount of mana regeneration increased doubles. Ooh, increased doubles. So double, this is a rough translation from English language, from Korean language to English language, don't mind that. We understand most important things. When not in wet state, mana cost efficiency increases by 60% for 6 seconds after the skill ends. The skill ends if you move. Oh, okay, interesting. The skill ends if you move. So basically what are you doing here? Every 90 seconds, you can use this skill to regenerate your mana. This will be very important because you will use lots of mana if you are using this weapon. Icebound Tomb, cooldown 30 seconds. Deal damage equal to 160% plus 18 of the base damage and has an 80% chance to freeze for 7 seconds, 14 seconds in PvE. So in PvP, freezing for 7 seconds. In PvE, freezing for 14 seconds. In a 3 meters radius of the target, 80% chance to reduce movement speed by 28% for 4 seconds. This is nice. This is nice. Very nice skill, very useful in PvP and PvE to some point, right? Ice Spear, cooldown 36 seconds. I didn't write here seconds. It's okay. It should be written like this. Okay. Throws an ice spear that pierces a target in the specified direction, dealing damage equal to 210% weapon damage plus 32 and 80% chance to apply an effect that reduces movement speed by 34% for 3 seconds. This is very powerful skill. 210 weapon percent of damage and also, okay, a little bit longer cooldown. Absolutely, right? When you see some very powerful skill, it will not have short cooldown, it will have longer cooldown. So 36 seconds. High Locus, cooldown 90 seconds, increases cooldown speed by 49%, global cooldown speed by 38%, and move speed by 21% for 12 seconds. High Locus, long cooldown, 90 seconds, but for short period of time, you'll be much stronger, much faster, right? Your cooldown will be, global cooldown will be up, speed by 38%, and your movement speed up for 21% for 12 seconds. So when you will be in trouble or you want to cast a little bit faster, you'll use High Locus. Let's go further with Judgment Lightning, cooldown 36 seconds. A lightning skill that deals damage equal to 1030% of the base damage plus 285. This is looking powerful. If the target is in wet state, attack up to 5 targets within 5-meter radius and deal damage equal to 686% of base damage plus 190. Upon dealing damage to a target you have inflicted with burning, every stack grants you 5% chance to use it in additional time. Ooh, this is powerful skill, Judgment Lightning. Obviously, when you use it, you're making judgment, right? It's very powerful. And last skill here, Infernal Meteor, cooldown 60 seconds. This skill here have very long cooldown, basically the longest. Is this? No, this one have, this buff have 90 seconds, but from the damage skills, this skill here have the highest cooldown. So 60 seconds cooldown, Infernal Meteor, a fire skill that calls down a giant meteor that deals equal to 410% of base damage plus 88 within a set range and has a 70% chance of knocking back damaged targets. Upon dealing a critical hit, deals bonus damage equal to 20% of meteor damage. The meteor creates an area that lasts for 6 seconds. Where it lands, inflicts 1 stack of burning on all enemies within the area per second. So there are so many things about this skill. No wonder it's a long cooldown, right? So very high damage, knockback effect, and then within area, you can see for 6 seconds, you'll have 1 stack of burning on all enemies within that area per second. Amazing, amazing skill. So these will be active skills. Now we have passive skills. Every class have active and passive skills which you can choose from. Here we have a Mana Ball Eruption. Grants a 5% chance of triggering an additional projectile that deals damage equal to 60% of base damage upon a casting a basic magic attack. Activation chance is affected by mana regeneration, increasing by 10% per 1 point of mana regeneration. Asceticism. Mana regeneration increases by 25.2 if the character is static and stands still for 5 seconds. Mana regeneration additionally increases by 75.6. So this is for mana regeneration. Obviously here, mana will be very important for you if you are using this weapon. You will spend lots of mana, so they can put little bit some of the active skills and some of the passive skills obviously on mana regeneration. Mana amplification, I guess, amp, that will be it. Increases max mana by 1540. Yeah, again, something for mana. Flame condensation, except the flames, increasing damage dealt by burning by 50%. Ooh, this is nice. For fire skills, damage by burning. Echoing barrier, when afflicted with silence, it creates a barrier of echoes for a set duration, increasing silence resistance by 45 for 475 seconds. If silenced again while the effect is active, silence resistance additionally increases by 475. Nice. A Lord of Frost, move speed lasts 10% longer and additionally decreases move speed for 5%. Forbidden Sanctuary, upon landing a skill or 2 or more targets with a single skill, increases damage reduction by 14 for 3 seconds. When the effect activates, it will not activate again for 12 seconds. And Janus Authority, interesting name for the skills. I mean, like I said, this is a rough translation from Korean language to English language, so this could be completely different for global version of the game, or maybe even for release of the game we will see different names, little bit different names, but skills will be there for sure. When hitting 2 or more targets with one skill, the cooldown time of the skill is reduced by 9% for each target. The first target hit is excluded and it can be reduced to a maximum of 3 targets in one attack. So boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, overall looking regarding skills of this weapon, absolutely amazing. If you want to play one high damage kind of, I will not say class, role, right? And you will use this weapon which is dealing very high damage. Lots of skills have dots. Lots of skills are actually not single target. Most of the skills are actually hitting targets around you, if not like full AoE, but at least to some point. And we have seen some dots. There are some damage over time skills, which is very nice. Overall looking that this weapon, staff, is looking, yeah, very, very powerful. Now, regarding with which weapon you should combine this weapon, staff, I can show you here actually what the developers of the game, if I move a little bit forward to this part of the video, First weapon they have actually NCSoft recommend here to combine staff is book, which is kind of interesting. Two ranged weapons. Why did they recommend book? Same reason, you'll see in a second. They have recommended the second option to combine a longbow. So first combination would be staff and book. Another combination, staff and a longbow, is actually CC. So basically you're using here, in this case scenario, you're using your longbow or you're using your book to make some kind of CC to put character in some kind of passive state, and then you're using staff to make damage. It is interesting they can pick actually a combination of two ranged weapons, because by some logic you should be able to use one ranged, one melee weapon. Nevertheless, absolutely right, you can combine anything you want. And basically what I have seen here from these active and passive skills for this weapon, for staff, you can combine staff even with melee weapons. It would be amazing to have. You can go with staff and sword and shield combination, staff or greatsword, even staff with greatsword combination. Also, I can see it already. It will be very viable in the game. However, why not? Developers of the game have here recommend, like I said, staff and book and staff and longbow combination. It's also looking very viable. In my opinion, it kind of feels that you would need to have something for melee combat and one weapon, and something for ranged combat. Nevertheless, if you are a fully ranged player, why not? Why not to go with staff and book? Actually, with book you can also a little bit heal yourself. And regarding other weapon, longbow, two ranged damage weapons, why not? Also sounds like interesting combination. Regarding combination of different kind of weapons, there will be metas. There will be metas after maybe few weeks. There will be already metas for PvP, for PvE, for farming, for everything. There will be metas also for each kind of role, right? So you will see dedicated videos on my YouTube channel, guides regarding different kind of metas. Which role do you want to play? All depends. Very soon on my YouTube channel after Korean release of the game. For this evening, I wanted to show you staff. All the skills, now you have seen all the active and passive skills of this weapon. If you are watching my live stream, let's go for a live stream. If you are watching this video on my YouTube channel, thank you for watching the video, and subscribe to my YouTube channel and follow me on Twitch to see more of mmorpg content and of course Throne and Liberty content in the future. I'm live streaming every evening about 7 o'clock Central European time, so join me to see some gameplay and to find out what is happening in mmorpg and PC gaming world. And of course, yes, I will live stream gameplay of Throne and Liberty from Korea. I have created a character, I will play it over there. Join me after December 7th on the Twitch. You'll find the link in the description below video. Subscribe to my YouTube channel and you will see lots of content regarding TL in the future. See you soon.